And over in the Middle East, 5 U.S. service members and 2 contractors were injured in a rocket attack on the Al-Assad air base, and Iran's threat still looms over Israel.
To add to the pile of burning garbage from this administration, a new House report reveals that nearly 100 illegal migrants on the terror watch list have been released into the United States under Biden and Harris's time in Washington.
So who's leading the country right now? It doesn't look like it is Biden or Harris.
Here's reaction. New York Congresswoman Claudia Tenney. Congresswoman, great to see you. And who is running the nation? And between now and November, it will only get worse potentially. How bad can it get?
It's already bad. Who has been running the country for the last 3 years? It certainly isn't Joe Biden. It's the people at the White House, the staffers behind the scenes. Potentially, we see a lot of discussions. Everybody's got to, wait for former President Obama to weigh in on everything. His staff is still very ever present. All his staffers are ever present. That's who's running. This is a staff-driven type of government that the Democrats run, and they don't care. These aren't people we elected, and Joe Biden is a shill, just like Kamala Harris is going to be a shill. We don't know what she's going to stand for. She stands for whatever it is that day, whatever the flavor is. She'll go to Pennsylvania and tell everybody she's for fracking. She'll go to California and tell everyone she's against it. And this type of weakness and uncertainty is what's been the problem over the last 3 years with the Biden administration. Total weakness at the border, projecting weakness overseas. Our enemies are taking advantage of us. They're moving in, they're calculating, and they're actually promoting the Biden-Harris or the new Harris waltz, I guess, administration through TikTok and their other proxies.
Yeah.
And I think we're in for a really tough time. I don't think, no matter how good the policies were under President Trump, and they were, and Sean, you and I served during that time, cutting taxes, the best thing that's happened to upstate New York in over 30 years was the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, cutting regulations, giving small businesses and entrepreneurs an option for once to do something under the highly, left-wing, authoritarian Democratic rule that we face in Albany.
Well,
all this, these are all things that we are going to continue to happen if we don't change who's in power and we actually elect someone that's going to lead our country.
Claudia, this is a threat to democracy, which Democrats always talk about. But when you elect an empty suit, whether it's Joe Biden, who is cognitively disabled, or Kamala Harris, who we know will never be able to do the job, what happens is you have this team behind the scenes, to your point, who were never elected, making the decisions that affect the lives of our countrymen, whether it's going to war or inflation or border policy or crime. And that's the problem. I think America deserves to know who the candidate is, and that candidate, if they win, they make the decisions, not some shadow group that might have the name Obama behind it.
Well, exactly, Sean. And by the way, they can't be held accountable. They're just staff. And what do? They manipulate the media. They manipulate big tech. You see, like some of the things going on right now where, why didn't somebody weigh in after this terrible situation that you just showed in the Middle East? Nobody weighed in when 5 of our service members were injured, and nobody came in and said, there's some apology. What happened when there was a plea bargain for the 9/11 terrorists, murderers, and but they went along with it, and all of a sudden, out of the blue, Lloyd Austin steps in and says, oh, no, we're against that. And Joe Biden says, oh, no, I was against it before. Well, how does this plea bargain happen? How does this all happen? Because we have no one at the top. We have, a bunch of Keystone cops in there running around trying to make it look like Joe Biden's propped up. He looks like a decrepit Soviet dictator. That's who they get elected because they deceive and fool the people with propaganda. That's how they do it in Albany, is just like they're doing it in Washington. And it really scares me that people aren't more concerned about what's going to happen with the future of our country. I feel like we are a powder keg right now. And I don't mean to be fear-mongering, but so many things are looking bad. And I see it from the perspective of a New York business owner.
Right.
Claudia, it does look bad. And again, hopefully the American people get this right. We appreciate you, Claudia Tenney, Congresswoman, joining us on The Bottom Line. As always, thank you.